Hi everyone, I'm Bree the Plant Lady and I'm so excited to finally be doing a poppy tour. It's the first day of May and the poppies have really started to, show off all of the different diversity of color. And this is the advantage of collecting your own seed. They're all open pollinated, so you get everything from this nice lavender. This is not Lauren's grape, everyone. You get varieties that are like this white to soft pink, and then into the more like salmon colors. My favorite color is like this raspberry that I'm gonna get a close-up on. But I thought you would appreciate this view of the very cottage style front landscape bed. This was sown last November. I need to look at the date. So I've been waiting for a really long time for this to come together, but it has. You see the barley, the clumps of barley are doing well. We're very, very dry. So the barley, some of it, like this spot, doesn't get watered as much. You can see how short it is, and you can tell when the barley's dry because the base, the leaves start to die down. But let's go walk around the whole property and see all the different poppies that are blooming. I didn't really sow very many poppies in this section, but across here, see, these are growing nicely, and you see how tall they get. I mean, those are, every bit 4.5 foot tall. I think those are actually self-sown. If you look back here, there's a big one shining there. That's definitely self-sown. These in the shade are just a few days behind, but you can see they all have flower buds. So these are gonna be awesome. This is the bud looks like before it opens. It's a very excited kitten. Well, the area that I did the late sowing, no poppies. But along here, these are coming. These, I believe, are all self-sown. And these are just, again, a few days away. You can see nice big buds starting to form. And the larkspur is about to burst. I think by next Saturday for open house, it's gonna definitely be looking good. It's always a risk, when you set a date. Open house is rain or shine, y'all. But here, this nice little patch of self-sown poppies. These have just been here in this sort of corner, I think, for going on 10 years now. And they always come up of different colors. You can see, I get out of the sun, that red. And this one actually has some of the kind of frilly petaloids. I love how crepe papery they are when they first open. This would be more in line with what Lauren's grape would look like. I think Lauren's grape's actually a little darker than this. Again, these aren't named. Unfortunately, all the poppies that I bought, it doesn't seem like any of those germinated. So these are all the poppies that I've been collecting seed from and growing for the last 20 years. They've always been the most reliable, and every couple of years I get dazzled by the seed catalogs, and for the most part I'm disappointed with the results. But I'm happy that the seed that I collect always produces these really strong plants. Like this, again, obviously self-sown. Look where it is, adjacent to a pathway. And see how tall it is. That's almost as tall as me, which isn't that tall. I get it. I'm a little disappointed there aren't more poppies in this bed. This bed really hasn't started much. There's a few self-sowers right along edges, but I wanted to show you over here because this is the advantage of letting carrots go to flower. They fill up a great, amount of space in these beautiful lacy blooms, and the swallowtail caterpillars love eating this. It looks like somebody else has been nibbling. I see a bunch of eaten off stalks, probably deer, but that's okay because there's plenty of these. For the most part, these have been protected because of this garlic edge. So this is the area that's really going to be the wow factor of this year, because it's where there are so many poppies, and they really haven't quite started back here, but I think this is going to be where people want to pose during the open house next week. And this is also where I have the Schultzia, the California poppies, blooming, and they are just so charming and beautiful. And I think they're going to look really cool once the larkspur over there and this nigella right here, both of which will have blue flowers. I think that blue and orange together is going to be super pretty. We'll walk around here, and I'm glad I didn't weed out these in the pathway because, you know, I need all the poppies. You can see this border is really dense, and I think by next week these will all be flowering. You know, the challenge here is that this area has become quite shady, and it does get sun in the afternoon, but I think that's why all of these are a little behind. Like, you know, I don't really even see mature, ready to open flower buds yet. Here's this tallest one, has one tucked in. But when this does bloom, it's gonna be so outrageous. By the way, the kitten absolutely loves playing with the Turnus Mume seed pods. This big self-sown clump here at the base of the root pouch has, you know, really come to fruition. Look at that. And the flowers are just so mesmerizing. So this corner of self-sown larkspur is starting, and my next job is to go get mulch. I'm pretty excited about getting mulch. And then this section is about to burst, and you see a handful have already opened. Look at that. Aren't they just so pretty? Those are self-sown back there, so they're ahead. All of these ones in the front, which haven't started opening yet, those are ones that I sowed last November. And having a few right here to greet me when I walk out of the door brings me extreme happiness. I'm not sure these ones will actually bloom, or they'll probably be really small. This is the area in that original poppy video where I just tossed the seed, didn't prep the soil, and though they did germinate, you can see them in there, they're not really getting bigger. Partly it's so dry, although I have been watering. I think this is just too much shade over here, and I also think the competition with the barley, but this is where I did all those purchased seeds, like the fancy double forms and stuff, and you can see that there's just none. It's very disappointing. I really was excited for this border to be, you know, mixed with lots of different colors, but it's okay. I'll be satisfied with a really good stand of barley. I'm excited to brew beer with this. The kitten loves it. And, you know, I definitely have to face the music that this border is getting to be too shady. And if I want it to be full sun, I'm gonna have to think about removing some trees. I'm not sure I can really do that. So I just have to reevaluate and potentially come up with a different plan for this border. I hope everyone has a wonderful first day of May. Get outside and enjoy the garden, or maybe go on a garden tour. And I am excited for next Saturday, May 8th, to open the garden up and have visitors here to witness all of this in person. I hope some of you will be able to make it. You can visit my website, breegrows.com, for more information.